Let's start this video off with some positive energy. Hello, I'm going to pull Gilberta because I love pulling. Now let's move on to the negative energy. I am so done with Arknights Endfield, and honestly, if you asked 2025 me if I would ever quit Arknights Endfield in the first month, the response would have been, no way, Jose. When the Game Awards ad played for Arknights Endfield, I was absolutely ecstatic and I was just so pumped up. After the ad, I told my wife how much I was looking forward to this game, and she just looked at me and said, that ad didn't even show anything. It was just a music video with some anime mobile gaming chicks. How can you be excited when it didn't even show the gameplay? I brushed that off at the time because, well, I loved the original Arknights, and it is still to this day one of the best anime mobile games of all time. Due to this, I expected Arknights Endfield to be the greatest anime PC game as well. But what I found was it was just not the case. The opening 5 minutes of this game looked amazing, and I even said this might be better than Elden Ring. But I did not truly touched the game yet, and when I said that, the people I was on voice chat on Discord just said dirty things to me, and my wife definitely gave me a glare from the kitchen. Once the main story started to occur, I realized that Endfield didn't have the same vibe as the original Arknights. It was very Hoyo-pilled. By taking the dark and gritty undertones away, and Chin to me just sounded like March 7th from Honkai Star Rail. Even though I knew it was a different voice actor, it just sounded the same to me. This doesn't matter that much though. I liked Honkai Star Rail. I like Wuthering Waves. I liked Zenless Zone Zero. So why isn't this game clicking? Usually these games get me addicted immediately. But it wasn't the case this time, and it wasn't just all the tutorials that I just couldn't be fucked to do, but did them anyways. I thought the problem was I had been in the slop gacha game gutter for too long, and I just needed to bask in Enfield's glory, and I would come over soon and just realize that this game was a masterpiece. But when progressing through the game, I wanted to spend my time exploring, but then I found out I needed to do the factory, but then I wanted to do the factory, and I needed to do something else like the main story, and I thought that different avenues of gameplay would make this game more engaging, but it doesn't do this fluidly enough in my opinion. In masterpieces like Nier Automata, the bullet hell gameplay would transition seamlessly between the hack and slash, as well as the hacking simulations, and that is because there is always a new thing every minute, and that keeps you engaged. In Arknights Endfield, how it forced you to interact with all the different things just didn't flow, and it would make me actually just upset. I think force is a strong word, but as a gacha gamer, I think you know what I mean. I want to have fun playing the game, but I also want to min-max my dailies so I get the max amount of upgrade materials and pull currency. In that respect, this game felt like an absolute slog with the factory system. Although I enjoy factory games, I prefer them when I can play those type of games casually. In a gacha game, it's max efficiency ASAP because, well, I need pulls, and pull currency is expensive, so time is money. I then started asking myself, do I need to be efficient in this gacha? Endfield, from my memory, might have the most forgiving combat system out of any gacha game similar to it, so there isn't a real need to maximize on your pulls, so I definitely could take my time and play this game casually. Hell, the game didn't even come out with a combat mode for endgame, and honestly, that was a huge letdown for me. It made me feel like combat was just padding and added on to just the game time. But the thing is, the factory isn't really in-game either, because all you have to do is get it online from a blueprint and then copy-paste the blueprint in there, and you don't have to touch the factory ever again. So then I thought the tower defense dailies were the in-game, but that was automated, so that was just me coping. Thinking of all that, it made me really appreciate games with in-game right at the beginning even more. I guess exploring could be the end game, but honestly, exploring in this game felt absolutely horrible. When I got to any generator that was far away from the base, I wasn't excited, especially the one in the quarry, because that one was like 20 minutes away from like an actual base, and I was pretty pissed off. So why am I still playing this game still? Well, I'm quitting, so I'm not, but what I think I need to ask myself is why do I keep playing new gacha games when a lot of what I want in a gacha game already exists? And I think that means I don't gacha hop because of the games itself, but being in a new community and getting a sense of belonging. But that doesn't exist in a game like this for someone like me. There's no world chat, and honestly, the whole Souls message and Ghost Towers were more annoying than fun and engaging. This game lacks the community feels of like low quality gacha games, and you could get that sense of community if you use things like Twitter and Reddit, I guess, but I just don't use those apps because, well, they're kind of toxic. So, why am I hopping to something like this? Well, it's definitely not the gacha system, which is honestly one of the worst aspects of this game, in my personal opinion. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time complaining about it, though, because this is something where someone will always white knight these gacha systems, but I just want to say this system just doesn't feel good. Even though I know it's generous, it just like, I never feel like great after pulling on it. If I pull the character early, I won't have enough currency for the weapon. You can be like, you can just pull the next character and use the currency then, but what if I don't want that character? Or what if I want that character's weapon too? If I pull a character right before the free 10 pull, now I'm bummed I didn't get that. The thing is, it's just like the weapon banner is also really feels bad because even though it spits out like a lot of 6-star weapons, the thing is usually it isn't the one I want. And you can say this is great, but it's kind of like asking for one scoop of chocolate ice cream, and instead of getting that one scoop of chocolate ice cream, you get 6 scoops of vanilla. And when people call you ungrateful because they gave you all this ice cream, I just don't think that's ungrateful. It's just, well, you didn't want fucking vanilla ice cream. And that's how the weapon system really felt in this. And it also had the same thing where it's just like you get that free selector box if you do pulls, and like I need to do a 10 pull to get this selector box, but I want to save for the next weapon. So it's just like, I don't know, it just feels bad. And I play games to feel good, and unfortunately, this wasn't my cup of tea, which is an absolute shame because I love a nice cuppa. So I'm hanging it up for right now, and I'm going to play Neo 3 and the new Resident Evil game, and I also am really looking forward to that new Pokemon, like, cozy Animal Crossing hybrid game. That looks actually kind of nice. And I'm going to be waiting patiently for Star Savior, which can't come fast enough, honestly. Will Star Savior be my cup of tea? Well, definitely more than this game. Sorry, boys, but Uncle True Evil is back in hibernation. I want a new game to come out and just absolutely blow my socks off. I really do. So let's hope March gives us that juice, and I'll definitely be covering all the other games that come out until then, but just probably a review.